who is Doc, the owner of Hypnotic One. Welcome to the show. And tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you do. You've helped so many people in the Valley.
Well, I'm a motivational therapist. I use hypnosis, I use NLP, I use a lot of different things to help people overcome their fears, phobias, and bad habits. Otherwise, you break your bad habit, you get off of drugs, you get off of any addictions in 1 to 7 days.
Well, Doc, you have been on my radio show. I know we talk about it all the time, but you've been with me for 7 years, and you've helped so many people out there. Let's talk a little bit about your success rate and what you do for people.
Well, I've been doing this for over 30 years. We have a 98% success rate. I've worked with over 44,000 people and maybe 45,000 by now. We do about 700 sessions a year.
Wow.
So that's a lot of sessions. Hardly any hypnotherapist in the Valley does that many.
Well, you know, what would you say is the #1 thing that people come to you and tell you that they're dealing with? I'm sure it's weight and smoking and drugs, but what else?
It's one of the addictions. Otherwise, maybe it's depression, because I find when people come in and they've got a weight problem or they've got an addiction problem, a really underlying cause is depression. And now I'm getting a lot of bad sleeping. People are coming in and they'll say, oh, by the way, I don't sleep very well. Well, that's why they're gaining weight and a lot of other things.
Well, it's an underlying problem. I know that you give a free 60-minute consultation to everybody. They get a little, well, it's either an MP3 or a CD, and it's phenomenal.
Well, I have to educate the person first to what hypnosis is and what it's not, what it can do and what it can, what I can do and what I can't do. So by the time they've got that 60 minutes down, they're very well educated about hypnosis and about what I do.
But you're different. There's so many different, hypnotists out there, and they think of it as something different than what you actually do.
Right. People think of hypnosis as that guy at the fair or the guy on television or in the movies doing that with a pendulum and everything. I don't use a pendulum, but all of a sudden the people go into a trance, and everybody that comes in does go into a trance. And a lot of times I tell them they've already been hypnotized to do something, otherwise that addiction gets worse and worse on their own, and we dehypnotize them. Otherwise we get them out of that so they're not consciously trying to stay straight and clean and sober. All of a sudden it becomes the pathway of their new success.
Now, we've said this a million times on my radio show, and now we're doing it here on television. If you want to walk on water, you've got to get out of the boat.
That's it.
You got to do something.
You have to make some changes. Can I do it all myself? No. I need a teammate. Otherwise, I first educate people, so I'm their professor. And then I'm their coach and their trainer. Otherwise, I'm training and showing them how to train their brain and their mind to automatically focus on their development and focus on their positives in life. Instead of focusing on their problem, we focus on the solution.
Hey, tell everybody about how you give them a lifetime guarantee and what that really means.
Well, that's it. You know what? There isn't a doctor, psychologist, a therapist around that gives you a lifetime guarantee but me. And what does that mean? I don't care if it's in 6 months or 6 years, that maybe something starts coming back on you. And it does every once in a while. You can call me up and says, Doc, I need a tune-up. How much is it? It's free. Otherwise, once I have worked with you, it's so much easier to keep you going in that straight, narrow pathway, and you're having more fun, pleasure, and excitement. But we have different things coming in our life at different times, and all of a sudden, maybe we get our mind off that success, and it starts going back in the other direction. Either put the CD back in, or you give me a call, and I love to work with people that I've already worked with.
Sure. You also won't let them fail. Tell them what you mean by that.
How can you fail if you got a coach and a trainer showing you how to overcome every one of your obstacles and detours? We keep you on that narrow pathway, and you're having fun.
Yeah.
Otherwise, therapy doesn't have to be grueling. We have fun. Otherwise, everybody wants to do things that are fun. They procrastinate on the things that isn't fun, and that's why a lot of times people procrastinate about calling us, because they think it's going to be work and everything else. Well, let's have fun together.
You know what? But I think what you would say on the radio all the time, we talk about this, which is how people come to you, and what do they say once they've walked in the door?
Gosh, this is so easy. Why didn't I come see you the first time I heard you? And I says, I really don't know, but I really do know. It's otherwise they talked themselves out of success. They thought it was going to be difficult or hard or whatever it is, and it's not.
How easy is it?
Everybody can be hypnotized. If you're listening to this show and you understand what we're saying, it's so simple and so easy to be hypnotized. Otherwise, you don't go unconscious. And when I worked in the hospitals even, they wasn't unconscious when was delivering babies or doing any of the operation with no anesthetic whatsoever. So your mind is very strong, but you have to know how to use it. And nobody's ever taught most of the people how to use their mind.
I've been to your office. I've been to the office, and it's such a great place. You have a ton of CDs on the wall. It's a, you know, these what you do with them, they're personalized for everybody.
Everybody that comes in, whether I've had 10 smokers that week, everybody has a custom-built program for them. Smoking's not their problem. Drugs are not their problem. That's symptoms. We go back and find out what the underlying problem is, get rid of that, and all of a sudden the symptoms start disappearing. That's why it's so simple and so easy. When people come in, they think, wow, if I knew it was going to be this easy, I'd have stopped smoking 20 years ago.
Right. And another thing that I know that happens a lot, somebody in the family comes and they, you know, right away, and then they have some success pretty fast, and then the next thing you know, the father, the sister, the brother coming in.
And we've got that all the time because everybody would like to be healthier, wealthier, and happier. So why aren't they? They're the ones stopping, and all of a sudden they see their daughter or their father or somebody coming in and being very successful and happy about it. All of a sudden they want to come in. And we've got special family rates too.
Well, you know, and I think too that what's really cool is the way we talk about on the radio things here that we can do here, and which would be talking about different things that people deal with and how easy it is for you to help them.
That's right. When people come in, like I say, they usually come in for their problem, but their problem is really the symptom. We have to find out what their real problem is. And under hypnosis, you have 100% total recall memory. You'll tell me exactly who and when that was put into your mind. And all we have to do is change your perception of it, because your life is really a perception of what's going on. So we actually put people into control of their life and their emotions and their actions instead of being controlled by people, places, or things.
So let's talk about some of that, because you said that they're not in control of their life, and the reason why is they're depressed. Everybody's depressed. How easy is it to do that?
It's simple. And it might take them a session, or it might take them 2 sessions, but that's fine. Because once you all of a sudden become happy, healthy, and outgoing and positive, all of a sudden your problems seem to be becoming smaller and smaller. They're not really problems at all. They're just symptoms that you haven't solved yet.
How about these phobias?
Phobias. Phobia is a fear that you have acquired in one way or another, and all of a sudden you're thinking how scary it is to do something, whether flying, whether it's driving. I've had a lot of people in the last 6 months coming in because they're getting scared of driving on the freeways.
I am too.
And I tell you what, it becomes so simple and so easy. All of a sudden now the people are saying, I'm not avoiding going places. Now I know all the traffic's going with me. I'm more alert of the people around me, and I know what I can do and what I can't do, and I just enjoy my time.
I love when you describe the brain and what's up there for us and how this all really works.
Really, this is an electrochemical organic computer. You know, it's just like a computer on your desk. If somebody puts a computer on your desk back in the 70s and 80s, it was just a box. You didn't know how to use it. Well, that's like this one. Nobody's ever taught you how to use it. You do it trial and error, or you do what your parents did, or your teachers did, or your siblings did, or what takes you out of that uncomfortableness for a while, but it doesn't keep you out of that. We train you how to be in control of it.
I love what you do. Can you also tell people about, obviously there's a lot of people that smoke out there. I know recently you just worked with somebody that was, I knew, that was...
One of your clients I met, and half your clients that I meet on the set.
It's networking.
That's it. They become my client. And all of a sudden she had smoked for years and years and years, probably
amazing.
about 30 years.
Wow.
And she was a little bit apprehensive, a little bit, I don't know if I can do it, but all of a sudden, after the first session, she was a happy, healthy non-smoker. She wasn't a smoker trying to quit. She was a non-smoker that was forcing herself to smoke, and now she was free. And she said to me after about the second session, because I give them a couple more sessions, I don't charge for it, I want to make sure that it's taken. I want to make sure that they're happy, healthy, and on that pathway. And she says, I haven't had a cigarette since I met you on that first session. I said, isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? People going, wow, it's that fast? Well, it couldn't happen to me that way. It does.
It really does. Wow, that's amazing. Doc, I also want to talk a little bit about motivation, because we know people out there, you're all procrastinators. We all are. So let's talk a little bit about that too.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because there's two reasons people fail at anything. I don't care what it is. First, they don't know how to succeed, and we have to educate them. Second, they don't want it bad enough, and that's motivation. If a person doesn't have any motivation, how are they going to overcome an obstacle in front of them? It's kind of like driving your car. If there's a little pothole out in front of you, you have no motivation, you're going to stop the car and sit there. Well, if you got motivation, you're going to go around it or over it.
Right.
That's kind of simple.
You know, another thing that I want to talk about is how you can help anybody in almost any area. You know, people in business out there that can't deal with certain things. Maybe they have to come up and stand up in front of people, whatever it is.
I love business people, because I've been working with business people my whole life, motivating them, as well as myself, to take those actions you know you need to do, but you've been afraid of it, and you've been holding off. You're scared, and that's what I've been seeing a lot of times. People come in for business and say, you know what, I know what I need to do, but I'm afraid to do it. And we get them to overcome that.
It's amazing. Most people are afraid of a lot of things. I think that's the unknown.
It's afraid of failure, or sometimes afraid of success. But, you know, what's people going to think? What's their family going to think if they don't make it perfect? Otherwise, we're not perfect. We learn from our mistakes. Successful people make mistakes, but they automatically keep their eye focused on their goals, and they overcome that obstacle so much easier and quicker, and they're staying right on that pathway of success.
I think that people should give you a call and at least talk to you. You know, it's a consultation. It doesn't cost anything to find out, how does this all work?
The people that come in for that free consultation, which is very laid back and relaxed, I listen to their problems, I listen to their symptoms, I explain everything to them, what we can do and what we can't do, what hypnosis is and what it's not, and all of a sudden they can make the decision then, or they can make it later, because I don't twist the arm. I don't even actually sell anything. I just present it out. If it works in their life, then we'll figure out what it is.
What about people who are dealing with pain issues, health issues? Can you help with that too?
Most definitely. Sometimes the pain, if you've had it over 6 months to a year and you've done everything that the doctors told you, you've done everything to get rid of that pain, then we can help you. I get a lot of people that come in, they'll say, well, I can't do the session, Dave, because I got a migraine. I says, let's get rid of that.
That's the best time to come in.
Yeah, because they don't realize when we're working on something else that if they have a pain, we'll get rid of it, especially migraines. It's unbelievable how many people have migraine headaches on a regular basis, some of them every day. I'm sorry, but we don't need to live through pain every day or once a week for 2 or 3 days. Let's have life being fun.
Well, let's also talk about some people that are addicted to drugs and alcohol and this and that, and how they don't have to stop certain things. You don't make them stop.
No, I don't take anything away from them.
No withdrawals?
No withdrawals, because if I'd take something away from them, they'd have a withdrawal. Just like taking a toy away from a little baby or a candy bar, they're going to throw a temper tantrum. So all of a sudden, after about a week of listening to my CD and coming in for a session, all of a sudden they don't need that drug. They don't need that alcohol. They don't need that cigarette. And all of a sudden, they start to looking in their future totally different. They look for that future and they want that future.
Again, tell them how you won't let them fail.
The only way you can fail, stay home and do it on your own, because that's where you got to where you're at now, is by thinking. And you can't change? No, you can change, and it's simple and easy. Most people fight change. Why? Every time they've ever been successful in life, right before that they changed.
Absolutely. Well, you know, it's a free 60-minute consultation. You're going to get that CD that you bring home, and that helps everyone right there, right off the bat.
Right. You know, most people really don't know what hypnosis is. By coming in for that 60-minute, those people will know more about hypnosis than any of their family or friends, and it just becomes so simple. Most people look, it can't be that simple. Or why wouldn't you have 10,000 people out standing in line getting in there? Because a lot of times people say it can't work that way. It can't be that quick and easy, or otherwise everybody want to do it.
Well, I've known you for a long time, and I know that you've helped a lot of people. And so I really am so thankful that everybody's tuning in so that they can listen to you and watch you and talk to you and listen to what you do. That's what networking is all about. So thanks for joining us, Doc. It's been great having you here.